Good evening, everybody. Hi, I'm Chris from Radio Life, and I'm bringing on Andy. Andy, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. We're going to be going over his End Fed Biscuit that I picked up, and it's the 20 meter version. He's coming out with a 40 meter version, and we'll talk about that. And a couple other things, and there's a couple things that it was fun to play with a little bit. So let's bring Andy to the live stream, and we'll see what he has to think about his new toys, so to speak. There you go.
Hello, Chris. Good to see you. Before we get kicked off, your audio is really difficult to hear. It sounds like you got something really garbled going on over there.
Is that better?
Much better. That's amazing.
Okay. Yeah, switch.
Yes, better.
I had, it's one of those things.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
to see you too.
How you doing today?
I've been a busy person today. It's I had work until 6 a.m., slept for a couple hours, and celebrated two of my boys' birthdays. So you know how it goes.
Nice. Oh yeah, absolutely.
How's your day going so far?
It's going fantastic. You know what? I'm doing great.
Well, that's a good thing. Some of us get to have a quiet day, and some of us have to run around with their heads chopped off.
It certainly was not a quiet day, but I'm doing all right. We made it through it, and it's Memorial Day weekend, so we're doing pretty good.
Yes, it is. And with Memorial Day weekend, let's bring that subject up. You have a 11% discount going on?
Yep, 11% discount. Memorial 11 is the code if you go to N0APX.com. I don't know if it'll let me drop that link in the chat.
Give me a second.
Okay. N0APX.com. Use code Memorial11. I'll put the code in. Chris will put the link in. Memorial.
There's the link.
11 is the code for an 11% discount. Use code Memorial11 to get 11% off any purchase in Fed Biscuit, 20 or 40 kit or antenna, and we'll get into exactly what that means here in just a couple minutes, I'm sure.
Yes, and I was a chicken, to order the kit. Seeing that I've never wrapped toroids, so I might actually pick up the 40 for this winter to play around with.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one of the questions that I was watching Frank's stream while I was driving around and getting kids home and all that fun jazz, and one of the questions that came up, why did you pick a 49-1 with this antenna?
So the 49-1, it really handles. I haven't really experimented a lot with like the other transformers, like a 56 or a any of those other transformers. So the 49-1 has just really been just a really really hard-working transformer for me in the past. It's done really well, and it just seems to do really good for end-fed half waves for especially these 20, 15, 10, and 40, 20, 15, and 10 models. It's just a really solid transformer and they're easy to wrap. They're really easy to wrap. I do use the crossover method while I'm wrapping them. I saw some discussion today. Some people were talking about wrapping transformers without using the crossover method, where you wrap 8 turns and crossover and wrap the rest of the turns back around. And so we may do some experimenting, maybe with some different windings, do some experimenting, but the model I'm selling, it just performs really well with just the 49, just standard 49-1 in it. So.
Well, and it makes sense. I mean, there's so many different wrappings out there. Like you said, there's a 9-1, there's a 4-1, there's a 56-1 is the latest one I heard, which is something that I might actually experiment with one of these days.
Yeah.
I picked up one of Ziggy's boxes that he makes up that Tio actually reviewed, and I've been playing with. I played with that once. That's all I got out with. Which this weekend I'm taking the End Fed Biscuit with me, and I'm going out and I'm going to try a Parks on the Air with that. So there'll be a video shot with that. And then I'm
Awesome.
going to go the next day and take Ziggy's end fed out and
Right,
get
there
that
you
up
go.
on the air. That, you know, so
Now here, you got the 20 so far, right?
correct. I have the 20
All
in
right,
hand right
now
now.
you need to get the 40 and do some experimenting. Yeah, there it is right there.
Yeah.
So with you mentioned the 4-to-1. That's if I'm not mistaken, that the 4-to-1 transformer is kind of, they use those, if I'm not mistaken, if I recall correctly, they use those in antennas like off center fed dipoles, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And of course, a 9-to-1. I've been considering maybe I've been thinking of various products that that we could add to the line here very soon. And one of the ones I've been considering is an End Fed random wire, which would probably be built with a 9-to-1 transformer. 9-to-1s are typically used for End Fed random wires. So absolutely. Chris, if you don't mind, do you mind if I go ahead and drop? I'll send this link to you, but do you mind if I go ahead and send an invite link to my Discord and a link to my YouTube channel to you, and then you can copy those over?
Actually,
drop.
I can do that too, real quick. And that's the other thing that
here. I'll go ahead and
I'm
send
trying
you
to
the
mess with a
invite link,
couple
and
of
you can grab the. Yeah, here's the Discord invite link, and you can grab the YouTube link if you want to there. A quick shout out to a couple of my friends in the chat here. Rodney KJ5FWC, great to see you, and Dave KE6GAE, the Hillbilly Ham, Ham Radio Wilderness with Frank, Pepe HB9 EVT. Great to see all you guys in the chat. If I missed somebody, I'm sorry, but great to see all you guys. And then
there's the Discord.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that a couple times here. But I'm a member of that Discord. It's a very good Discord, I believe. We talk pretty much.
It's a pretty
just
quiet
strictly...
Discord. We don't, we won't blow up your phone with notifications. So
no, the World Radio League one blows up my phone with notifications.
Yeah, that one, it was just, we just put that one together, and it kind of got exciting here in the last couple days. But
correct.
And there, Chris, is the YouTube link. I just sent that one to you too. So
okay.
So I don't know, I don't know how you want to go through this, but I've got an End Fed Biscuit 20 assembled here and a kit for the End Fed Biscuit 40 that I've got to get put together. I'm actually selling one to KE6GAE, the Hillbilly Ham, Dave. He's a local and a friend of mine, and so I'm going to meet him tomorrow and get him his End Fed Biscuit 40 antenna.
I already heard that was happening, so I got a little jealous. So I'm like, oh, you suck.
But man, I'm printing the 40s like crazy. I launched it like yesterday, and I've already sold. I've sold a couple kits already and an assembled one. So really excited with this one. Hopefully get this one out. Prep Ham Paul, hello, great to see you.
Yes, the 20 is it. I love how I can just basically do what I need to do with it and just grab it and go. I can throw it in a go box. I could do whatever I want with it. So that is one thing that literally is just what you call it. It's easy to carry, and that's the one thing I really enjoy about it. I mean, I run a G90, and that's all I run. I don't have the money to go and get a nice 100-watt rig for a home or anything like that. So it's my home rig and my go rig. And I have a box, just a regular Apache box that I throw a bunch of stuff in. And it works wonders. So I threw that in there and I'm like, oh, I got room. I could put more stuff in this damn box.
Absolutely.
So.
It's a lot. For me, it's a lot nicer than trying to either A, keep my wire untangled, or B, messing with a great big chunk of plastic, that's besides the antenna and everything, with an extra winder and all that. With this, it's just all contained in one unit, and it spools out and winds up quick. So,
Correct. And the one thing I did, and because I'm not worried about having residents, having it resident on anything or anything like that. For me, it could be a random wire in here and I'd be fine. But I actually did a
Yeah.
loop at the end and then I put an S-beaner on it. But I used a little
Mm-hmm.
heat shrink to basically just make a small loop.
Uh,
And the nice thing is your
yeah.
keeper hole fits my S-beaner so I can just clip it on there and I don't have to worry about,
Shoot me a link to that. Shoot me a link to that S-beaner you got, if you don't mind, and I'll look that up. If they're cheap enough, I may look at throwing them in with the antenna just because that would be definitely a nice addition. And guys, I do want to make this point. If you're doing like Chris does, and you're folding it back at the end, which is it comes with a little bit extra wire so you can kind of tune it in the field. So if you're doing like Chris does and you're folding it back on the end. If you want to take it out, play around with it, get it tuned exactly right, then just fold it back, tape it up, and leave an extra bit wound at the end after you get it tuned up. You just fold that amount back, get it tuned just right, and just tape it up and put an S-beaner on the end or whatever you want to do. Or if you're going to be going to various different terrains and locations, also feel free just to leave it the way it is, and you can adjust it when you get there, adjust it by band or whatever you need to do. But
well, and like I was talking about, I wish you had a 40 meter, when I was ordering this, I was telling you, hey,
yeah,
I wish you had a 40 meter. And the only reason I
yeah,
like the 40 meter is because typically the resident on almost all the bands under 40, and with the G90 I can actually hit 80. So, I've done that already. And
wow,
it's one of those things. It's like, okay, if I can get a 40 meter, I could play 80 meters at night
oh
when I'm
yeah, oh
camping
yeah,
or whatever else.
oh yeah. And that
So,
G90 will tune a wet noodle just about. So it's a good
yes, it
good
will.
tuner.
Yes,
I've
it
got one
will.
behind me in the shack here. It was my first multi-band HF radio. My first HF radio was an HTX 10. And I've still got that. I'm in the process of trying to sell it. I may have a buyer for it. We're gonna see next week if he takes me up on it or not. But yeah, that was my first HF radio. Just it's only 10 meters only, so I was able to pick up the G90 at an absolute steal. I mean, a steal. A ham sold one to me for I've never had that huge of a flow of resources for buying radios. So he really gave me a good deal on a G90. And honestly, I had an issue in it. I was experimenting with trying to get an external PTT switch and mic system setup, and I accidentally crossed two wrong wires in the head unit and blew the thing out. And I shipped it off to China, got it fixed, and got it back. And with the purchase price and the repair cost, still like half price the new G90. So I'm not really in the hole on it too bad.
No. The biggest thing I liked about it is I bought it new, number one, and it
Yeah.
was under $500.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can get on HF finally. So I bought it when I was still a tech. Now, mind you guys, I was a tech from September of 22 till December of 24, roughly.
Yeah.
And I kept studying and all that stuff, but I played on 10 meters a lot. I mean, I took it out
Yeah.
to Terry Andrews State Park, which is on the south end of the Sheboygan here,
Yeah.
and I put what is it, Wolfer recoil vertical up, when they're telescoping. I couldn't get out.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't get out at all. It was like, what the heck? I'm not hearing anybody. When you hear
Yeah.
that, it's like, well, it's sand underneath there. And we all know
Yeah.
what sand does. Nothing. So it's it's one of those things. It's like, okay, fine. But I finally got to a couple other places and I started getting contacts in one park with the verticals. And I'm like, okay, that's it. I got to go to End Fed. So I lost my little dude 6, and I'm now mad because I lost it. But I had an End Fed 10 meter up, and I lost that too. So I'm like, okay,
Uh-huh.
where did I go do this? I went and found it, and it wasn't there anymore. So I'm like, dang it. So I need a new end fed. Well, Andy came along with a nice, great package. I'm like, oh, that's work. But um, I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
I'm gonna get you guys that link real quick as soon as my happy butt can find it.
While you're doing that, I can go ahead and demo exactly how this thing works for those of
Yeah,
you who
go
haven't
ahead.
seen one. So it's got it's just a circular design, hence the name. And inside it's got a 49-to-1 transformer. We've got a BNC connector on the top here and a winder handle here. The keeper hole he was referring to is this little bitty hole right up here at the top. You just take your wire and slide it through that hole while you're not using it. That just locks it in place. And this is kind of a little bit of an earlier version. No, this is the final version. I went through so many iterations; it's hard to keep up. But I finally landed on the current design. But anyway, so what you do is you take and grab the side across from the BNC connector, not the one that houses the BNC connector, but the side across from it, just the blank side, basically. And you take it and you grab your wire and just start reeling it out. And then whenever you reel that all the way out to use your antenna when you're done, you grab that same side and then use your winder handle just to reel it right back up again. Just like that. And honestly, Chris, that S beaner
and that's what I love.
Yeah. Where that S beaner is going to come in real handy is if you can clip that in the keeper hole, then you can also clip it to the keeper hole, then onto a branch, and lock your End Fed Biscuit in place. So you don't have to like put the case on a branch or anything like that. You can just lock in a carabiner or an S beaner that'll help even more. So I may look at throwing those in with my antennas if I can find a version that's cheap enough. So.
Well, and the ones I got, I think it was 20 or something like that, and it was only like $8. So it wasn't like a lot of money in it. I didn't
I'll definitely
go
throwing those.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably a cheap Chinesium thing, but it's like, these are really nice for the ends of end feds and stuff like that, and you can just throw them in there and boom, gone. And,
I looked at bongo ties a little bit, but they're not really, they didn't really fit the use case quite as well as that might. So I'll take a look at that and see what we can.
No, and bongo ties are great to tie things together, but to get it up over the thing, it is not that great. Now, Jeff was asking how long was the wire?
So the End Fed Biscuit 20 has 35 feet of wire, approximately 35 feet, a little bit extra for tuning purposes. And then the End Fed Biscuit 40, same thing. It would typically have 66 feet. It has 68 feet. Like if it was exactly precisely tuned for, like, if somebody tuned it for their location and their the height they mounted it and everything, it would come out to within just a couple of inches probably of 66 feet. But we throw you a little bit extra on there for being able to hang it easier, being able to tune it for your precise operating location, and just to make sure we don't short you anything. I would hate to get it just tuned for my location and then ship it to you and it just be too short for your use case. And so I give you a little extra.
Okay. Well, I saw that this one, well, before Paul said something, Frank said something that those are some nice ones that I dropped, but then he said there's another type too that sent it to me and you, which would be great because Frank finds them.
Discord.
Yeah, he will. But of course, Prep and Paul, they're great. I mean, you can use them for your keys. You can use them for you buy 20 of them, you have them at the house, and you can just I gotta do this.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So
yeah, definitely.
It's not it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But and the one thing I love
fellow.
Say again, your internet went in and out.
I'm sorry. And for those of you fellow nerds among us that are wondering what 3D printer I'm using, it is the see if you can see it there. There we go. The Ender 3 V2 Neo. I hope to eventually get another printer, a little bit higher end model, but right now, yeah, everything's printed on an Ender 3 V2 Neo. So right now, I'm using Polymaker filament. It's definitely a step up from the Creality filament I started with. So
That's always a plus, you know. But no, the one thing I really loved about the design of the whole thing is, number one, it comes in a small package, and we all need small packages
yeah,
just to have somewhere to go throw it. So we need to. Sometimes you just have to um, go through stuff and everything else just to figure it out.
yeah. Hey, Mike, N0APX, great to see you.
Hey, Mike. I was looking at something, and
Jeff asked, "How's the filament and heat
yeah,
sunlight?"
that's what I was looking. That
Yeah. So I would recommend you not. Currently, I'm using Polymaker PLA. So I would not recommend you leave it in sunlight in your car. That is the worst environment for it. Is sunlight in the back of your car in the heat while your car is off, sitting somewhere for hours. In your pack, it should do fine, but if you leave it in a really concentrated hot location, in a car in the sunlight, it does tend to warp a little bit. I'm going to be experimenting with possibly some PCTG. I've heard some really good things about PCTG, so
yep.
we may look at making a even more heat resistant model. Polymaker's been teasing some sort of what appears to be a very climate resistant filament that's coming out Tuesday. So I'm going to wait probably until that release just to make sure they're not coming out with their own version of PCTG or something like it. And then I may jump on if that doesn't pan out, then I may grab some 3D Fuels PCTG and give that a shot, because it's supposed to print, as good or maybe slightly better than PETG, and it's supposed to perform even better. So I'll probably be looking at that. And but right now, yeah, it works great for a POTA activation. Does just fine. For an hour or 2 hours out in the park, you shouldn't have any issues. I just wouldn't leave it, sitting out in your car for 4 hours on end. So in the hot sun. So
Okay,
unless it's in a pack, it's in a pack probably.
Yeah. Well, here's Paul's comment. Let's show it. I need Texas resistant fruit. Yeah, we know it gets warm down there.
Yeah, Dave was telling me a little bit ago that somebody referred to PCTG as Texas proof, so Texas heat proof. So I may be giving PCTG a try here in the very near future. And and honestly, I've looked at the price of PCTG. I'm not going to promise that there won't be an upcharge, but I don't think I'm going to have to. I don't think I'm going to have to bump the prices on at least the 40 meter model. Even if I do go with PCTG. So it shouldn't be too big of a bump to the 20, if any, and probably no bump to the 40. So so if I do switch to PCTG, you'll just get an even better antenna for the same price.
Yeah, there's so many out there, it's ridiculous. I mean, I found out we got a filament maker here in West Bend, Wisconsin, which is about 45 minutes away. So I'm going to be checking out those guys here in a little bit. I'm actually going to be picking up a 3D printer here in the near future, not for projects like this, so to speak, but I have an old Army cot, probably from probably early 2000s, that's missing most of its feet and stuff like that. So I'm going to make those little stupid nipples or whatever.
Nice.
And then a metastatic case for if I can get it, basically this thing, the Helltech. So, just silly stuff like that. But
Yeah.
know,
What printer are you looking at picking up?
it looks like a Creality V3 is
Okay.
what I'm
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
be able to
That
pick
looks
up.
like that
It's
looks like
going
a
to
pretty
be
good one. I think it's a direct drive extruder. If you're going to be doing anything with like TPU filaments, you definitely want a direct drive extruder.
correct.
Direct drive extruders are my V2 Neo is not a direct drive extruder, and I've fought with it here and there, and I yeah, the next one I get will most likely have a direct drive extruder on it. So
Um, Dave, I can't remember off the top of my head. I actually have to go out look it up. I'll send you a Discord message later on this evening. I actually went to their Facebook page and found them, and I'm like, ooh, because somebody told me about them. I actually had someone make me a masked post, so to speak, with some stuff that he got from there, and it seems to be pretty good stuff. So I'm not going to worry about it. I can understand, Dave. But Andy, let's get back to this
yeah,
lovely antenna that you made.
yeah,
So,
absolutely,
where did this, besides being the palm of your hand and you can throw it in your pocket,
yeah,
so you can go on a lunchtime
yeah.
toda, what other ideas came up that came to this fruition? Came to this creation of this antenna.
Well, it took me after, after, of course, after you hit upon an idea, it's one of those moments, like one of those eureka moments where why didn't I think of this before? But it took me probably embarrassingly long to really figure out exactly how to how to put this design together. But what I really wanted was something that just spooled out really easily. You could wind it up all one unit, so it was all on a roll in one unit, and you didn't have to worry about like a winder, like figure eight winding or anything like that. I just wanted it to be able to roll up, spin out real fast, and just because some of my activations are like activations on a work lunch break, so I only have like 30 minutes or an hour, and so I wanted to, I was trying to speed up every part of the process I could. So it seemed like a really good idea, but I could not really figure out how to implement it. And then I realized, if you just spin the transformer and everything, then all you gotta keep if rather than leaving that part stationary, you just spin that part too, and it turned out that it worked really well. And so yeah, I've been really excited about this thing, and it's been doing really well. And yeah, once I got it figured out, the kit is really easy to assemble. It's not a hard kit at all. If you get a chance, go and watch Forrest KI7QCF, his video. He did a really good video about it, and it's a really easy kit to assemble. You can watch my assembly video on the End Fed Biscuit 20. I'll probably be getting one together on the End Fed Biscuit 40. It's only slightly different. So the End Fed Biscuit 20 has a 49-to-1 transformer in it with a 14 with a 2-to-14 winding ratio. The End Fed Biscuit 40, the way I'm making that one is with a 3-to-21 ratio. Still a 49-to-1 transformer. It's a 3-to-21 winding ratio, and the toroid is double stacked, so it'll handle more power. The 20-meter version I've had guys take out. It's got a single FT8243 toroid. I've had guys take it out, do an hour, 30 minutes or hour POTA activation on a 100-watt single sideband, no issues. So we're rating that one around 50 to 80 watts SSB. Wouldn't recommend taking it over 25 or 30 on CW, and probably not over 15 or 20 on digital. The End Fed Biscuit 40, it'll be rated a little higher. I think we can for sure count on a 100-watt single sideband on that one, and probably do I would say yeah, between 30 35 watts CW, maybe a little. We might even be able to push that a little further after we get more data back from everybody, but probably 30 35, maybe 40 watts on CW, and 20 or 25 on digital nodes. So yeah, it's been really incredible experience. And if you've bought an End Fed Biscuit 20, you know how that design works. We've made the one main case design change we made. We thickened up the case a little bit, made it a little bit stronger because we had to widen it a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. And then we've also made this reel a little bit with some angles on it. You can kind of see there that kind of helps keep the wire from sticking a little bit more. So, yeah, absolutely.
Well, and the thing of it is, to sit there, figure it out, design it, everything else between lunch breaks and work and home and all that fun stuff. And you're not, you're a young guy with a young family. It's sometimes a little bit,
Overwhelming.
crazy like that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's just nuts. I mean, I'm in my mid 40s. I have a relatively middle-aged family, and I'm running around just trying to find time to play radio. It's I can understand it. I'm just trying
I don't get much opportunity to actually get on the air anymore. So
that's your own fault. No, I get on 2 meters and 70 centimeters more than I get on HF. It's crazy. But the one question that's popping up here is let me just highlight it.
I just saw that. Do I ship to Europe?
Yes, you ship to Europe.
Pepe, let me check. Pepe, I think you're in the Discord, Pepe. Shoot me a DM in Discord if you don't mind, Pepe, and I'll check rates. Just send me your address there in Europe, and I'll check shipping rates and get kind of get you a quote on how much shipping would cost. It's not that expensive within the U.S., but outside to ship it out of the U.S., I really don't know exactly where that number will be. So just shoot me your address in the Discord. Just DM me if you don't mind, Pepe, and I'll get you a quote together on shipping, what it would cost to ship. If it's too much, if it costs more than the antenna to ship it, then it's up to you whether it's worth it or not. But I don't feel bad I won't feel bad at you if you don't want it. But hopefully it won't be too bad, and we can get you one you one coming.
Well, guys, I really do believe in this antenna, and Andy knows it because I've been excited. So this weekend, this is the first one that's going up in the air, but why not on Memorial Day weekend? But if I get 250 subscribers, I will give away one kit of the End Fed 20 biscuit.
Awesome.
This only the 20 kit, not the 40 kit. I haven't got to play with the 40 kit. Yeah, you got that lovely Apple stuff that gives you a thumbs up. But yes, there you go. So 250 subscribers to my channel, and I'll send Andy say, yeah, and then we'll do a live stream like this, and we'll do a giveaway, and basically just and the thing is, I believe in this antenna. I think it's a great MCOM antenna. I think it's a great POTA antenna. I think it's a great SOTA antenna. You can, I'm going to be taking it camping with me too, just because, well, I'm going to be in a state forest. Might as well see how this, just put it up.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is you can be mobile with it.
Absolutely.
So that's.
There's a couple things I want to cover with it right quick, if you don't mind.
Not a problem.
One thing, if you get the kit, do not over tighten the screws. Do not over tighten the screws. It will, you can damage the antenna easily by over tightening the screws because it's, it's 3D printed. If you snug them down real good, they'll hold like crazy, but you don't want to over tighten them. And then soldering it up's really easy. It, shouldn't face any issues there. Get your BNC bracket glued in ahead of time, because that way when you go to assemble it, it'll be easier to get it put together. Either put your BNC connector in the bracket before you glue it in, or glue it in an hour or so before you start assembling. That way, you won't be fighting with a loose, partially glued BNC bracket while you're trying to put it together. And finally, we as far as tips here, we do ship it with one screw installed already. So with this piece here, there's just kind of this pin here has a tendency to shear if you don't put a strengthener in there. So we put a strengthener screw on the other side, and that it comes, whether you get the antenna or the kit, it comes with that strengthener screw already installed. So.
Yep, mine came with the strengthener screws, so it's wonderful. I mean, customer service, he tells you when, Andy has told me when he was building mine and everything else, so it worked great.
Oh yeah.
Basically all I do now, it's
and guys, I do want to say I don't put any guarantees on. I'm sorry, I think we have some network connection issues here, but
again,
I don't put necessarily any guarantees on my website, that I will do this or I will do that. But if you have an issue, reach out to me and I will work with you to get whatever it is resolved. I will definitely work with you if you have any issues at all. I want to be sure and get that out there, even though I don't put any necessarily just, hard guarantees that it's, 100% this or that. I will definitely work with you to get issues resolved if you have any. So just message me, email me. I'm good on QRZ. I'm good in Discord. Just send me a message. I'll work with you.
Yes. Just keep in contact if you got any issues. Andy does not have a problem with backing you up or figuring stuff out. It's wonderful.
Not at all.
It's actually wonderful to be able to talk to somebody and get answers on a quality product before you can. So, I mean, come on. How often can you talk to the guy that's actually building the antenna or the kit? So, it's very rare these days. And yeah, you can do that with coffee and ham boys, but that's just a huge antenna. Sorry, Theo. Not really.
And
but
if you want me to, I can go ahead and read out the prices of this thing, just so everybody kind of knows where we're sitting at. I can even share my screen and show you the prices if you don't mind, just so you can kind of get a look at what you're looking at. Is that all right with you, Chris?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let me get this shared up here. Here's my website. I think Chris will be showing that to you now. There we go. Okay, so you just scroll right down here. Now, if you sign up to my email list, you'll get a 10% off coupon on your first purchase. So, 10% off just in your email inbox as soon as you sign up. If you come on down here to our product section, actually you can either click the button or you can just scroll on down here. Use the code Memorial11 for 11% off. Don't forget to do that if you're ordering before Monday night. And here's the product lineup. We've got the End Fed Biscuit 40 kit for $62.99 plus shipping. The End Fed Biscuit 40 assembled for $81.99 plus shipping. And we've got the End Fed Biscuit 20 assembled for $66.99 plus shipping, and the End Fed Biscuit 20 kit for $47.99 plus shipping. So, yeah, absolutely. And they look really similar here, but this one is definitely bigger and definitely has more wire. And of course, you get the double stack toroid with the 40. So it's not that much bigger, honestly. I'll show you on camera here. Let me stop sharing my screen. I'll show you on camera here. This is the End Fed Biscuit 20. This is the End Fed Biscuit 40. So it's not as much bigger as you might think, but it is definitely a little bigger.
That's actually about maybe 1.5 sizes bigger. That whole half size.
Definitely not double the size. It does not need to be double the size. It's just the wire. I actually made it also a little wider. A little wider this way. So
that makes sense.
That also helps mitigate that. That's going this direction. We can keep that fairly small and just make it a little wider this direction, and that way we can fit it in a little bit smaller footprint still.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that doesn't look that's perfect for a go bag. I mean, that not so much a pocket anymore, but it's perfect for a go bag.
No, yeah, I think I can put the 20 in my pocket. The 40, I wouldn't. I would barely. I'd have to have one of my pairs of jeans with really big pockets. But I can. Yeah, I've got like a sling bag that I use for my. I put my throw line. My I've kind of have multiple levels of kits. So I put together a kit that has my throw line and my MTR 4B mountain topper kit. I've got a kit for the mountain topper that goes in my POTA kit with the throw line and the coax and the antenna. And yeah, this antenna just fits in a sling bag, just it's like a small sling bag along with all those other items, no problem. Fits in one of the smaller pockets on the so yeah.
And it works out great. I mean, that's just perfect. And with the 40 meters, that gives you a little bit more reach, or whatever. But nice thing is, depending on what radio you run, you can basically tune up whatever band you want, and that's the other thing.
That's true. That's true. If you're using a tuner, you could put this thing probably on just about any band you wanted to put it on. If you're using a tuner like the G90, but if you don't have a tuner in your radio, you don't have a tuner with you, I would definitely recommend sticking to 40, 20, 15, and 10 on the End Fed Biscuit 40, and 20, 15, and 10 on the End Fed Biscuit 20. I mentioned Forrest's video earlier. He did an awesome video. The only thing, he did say that it's a mono band. The 20 meter version is a mono band. It is not. It's tri-band. It is 20, 15, and 10. So keep that in mind. If you do watch his video, it is tri-band antenna. So, but yeah, if you, like I said, if you have a tuner, I'm sure you could probably get it tuned up on 17, 12, all the random bands, but even 30 probably. But if not, you're looking at probably an SWR of about 1-to-1 up to about 1.5-to-1 on 40, 20, and 15. And you can adjust the tuning on for 10 meters and probably get it a little even closer to 1-to-1. But if you leave it the same, if you get it tuned for 40 and then don't change it, you're probably looking at 1.6 to 1.8-to-1 on 10 meters.
And it's not going to fry your radio because it's not over.
That's not going to fry your radio.
3.
I hear.
Yeah.
I got worried. I was kind of worried about. I was like, "Is that close enough for?" And I was thinking. I hear people talking about. They'll run their rig with a 3-to-1 SWR, and that would make me nervous. But they do it all the time. But no, this thing is. This thing's within that margin of definitely usable, even if you don't adjust it when you get the 40 set. Now, if you do adjust it for 10, you could get it. Even way closer than that if you wanted to. But if you tune it for 40, then it's gonna perform good on 10 anyway.
Yeah, and it's great. Like Andy uses on his mountain topper. It's great for QRP stuff and everything else, which is wonderful. There isn't many out there that you can basically go, okay, I got my rig expert. I got it dialed into 20, or I got it dialed into 10. Okay, what is it? Okay, I can run it. I mean, me, I'm a little brat because I just basically put it up and hit a tune button and I get whatever the heck I want. But
that's a little
but
yeah, I get it.
The biggest thing is I like to build stuff and I like to monkey around with stuff. So this gives me something that, hey, okay, I'm gonna try this. And all right, if it works, great. You guys will know about it. If it fails, everybody will know about it. I'm not going to share. I'm going to share everything with you guys. That's what this channel's about.
Yeah,
it's just what I'm, I have to.
Oh yeah.
Andy was nice enough to give me a discount.
Let me know, like I said, tell me if you have any issues at all, and I will help you out with it. I absolutely.
I got an antenna that's sitting on the floor over here. I have no place to put it up. It's like
I get it.
I mean, I'm talking about an 80 meter offset of fed dipole. I have no clue where to put it up in my house. I got to figure that out.
An 80 meter, that's a pretty big antenna. About guarantee you, that's a pretty big wire. Yeah, that would be.
And it's a used balun too. So it's a used balance, so I had to go get new wire for it. So I had to get all the new hardware for
Yeah.
putting the wire together and everything like that. So I
Yeah.
went and got 200 or 100 feet of, or was it 200 feet of basically no, it was 100 feet of speaker wire, so I had 200 feet. So I was glad I did
Mhm.
that. Yeah, it was a little bit more expensive, but hey, it works.
Yeah.
So
And back to just real briefly back to the kit. If you're looking for a really advanced and difficult to assemble kit, this is not that advanced and difficult. If you're looking for an easy to assemble kit, this is easy to assemble. It's not that hard. It's really simple. I put together a video where I slowly walked through each step, and the slowly walking through each step only took about 30 minutes. And of course, Forrest KS7 QCF on his channel did just a 5 or so minute montage of him assembling it, and you can see how easy it is to put together, but it's really not that difficult. It's really simple
no.
to put together.
And the one thing I did is after I talked to Andy a couple weeks ago before I ordered it, I actually saw that video, and it'll be great. I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
a perfect kit for somebody who's never wrapped a toroid. Well, that's me.
Yeah.
I did win a A6ARK mini end fed from Josh's stream, one of the HRCC streams. I never put it
Yeah.
together, but
Yeah.
like Jeff was asking, will you be at the Salina, Missouri ARRL Midwest Convention in October?
In October, I don't know. I'll have to check my schedule for October and see. I will be at the Smark Ham Fest in a couple weeks in Springfield, Missouri. I will be there. I will be there. Definitely planning on that, and possibly at the Joplin Ham Fest in August in Joplin, Missouri. So we'll see about the Sedalia one, but I am definitely planning on Springfield and possibly Joplin. You were talking about winding the toroid, and yeah, it's an FT8243 toroid. So it's I think a lot of people, if they're building QRP antennas, they use an FT5043, which I can't. Winding one of those must be very challenging. And I pity those who have to
I
assemble
think
large quantities of. But the FT8243 is actually just that right size where it's not humongous, but it's also not tiny. So it's easy to wind. It's really easy to wind.
okay, this is what was my little experiment with atoms because I can't find half of the antenna kit. So,
Yeah.
of course, it's a double toroid, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hence why
Jeff
I'm like,
says he's in Lake, Kansas. And yeah, if you want to run down, Jeff, to the Smart Ham Fest, I'm planning on bringing at least some kits, maybe even hopefully some assembled units too, if I get time to put several of them together, and maybe you can pick one up there at the Smart Ham Fest. So hope to see you there.
and I know I'll be going to Green Bay Key Ham Fest next weekend. I think it's Saturday. I'm going to be dragging my kids to it and just checking it out. I went to the Ozaki County Swap Fest at the curling club, Milwaukee Curling Club's location in Cedarburg, and did a haul. But I'll be popping around up here a little bit. There's one other guy that I got to go and check out because he's got a J-pole antenna that I want to make.
Okay.
It's Chris from I can't even think of his channel, but he's a great guy. I met him last year or 2 years ago, so I'm gonna go check out his stuff.
I'm gonna throw a link at you if you don't mind sharing it. That's the link to the details on the Smart Ham Fest in Springfield.
Give me a second.
If anybody's interested, I would love to see you. I'm going to have a table set up there. I'm going to have 2 tables there, actually. One of them's going to be set up for Ham Radio Prep and World Radio League. I'm going to be repping for them. I'm their product manager over there. And the other one's going to be set up for N0APX antennas. So, yeah, I hope to see you guys over there.
Well, it's nice. It's nice when your work allows you to do your other job too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, it's definitely keeping busy.
oh yeah, I would say. And trust me, I have plenty of different questions on the World Radio League, which I will send you kindly in Discord because we don't need to get into that tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
And
the
if you want to, I don't want to mix the two too much here, but if you
yeah.
want to do another stream here in a couple weeks on Ham Radio on World Radio League, let me know and I can come back on and do another stream with you for sure.
All
I would
right,
love to
yeah,
do that. But
I don't want to either because there's 100 questions about
yeah,
that. I mean,
yeah, oh yeah,
this thing
oh
is
yeah,
pretty this thing's pretty self-explanatory. It's a
yeah,
biscuit. It rolls
oh yeah.
up. It's got wire and it connects. And I built myself a new coax so I could have a BNC at one end and an
Yeah,
SO 259 at the other. So I'm all good.
there you go.
you know.
Yeah, yeah, and if
So
you plug that, yeah, it's like you said, it's pretty self-explanatory. You grab it, you spool the wire out, you plug it into your radio, and it spits out RF. So it's not that complicated. But it
exactly.
is. The real innovation, I suppose, is just the case design, simply because it's so compact and easy. You know how it rolls up and spills out with, you don't need an extra tool on here. You don't need to stick like a screwdriver through the middle or anything like that. You just grab it and spool it out. You know what I'm saying? It just
Yeah.
it's just that easy.
And it just and it moves like it's flawless. I mean, it feels like
Yeah,
there's multiple
yeah.
bearings inside of it. So I mean, it is
There's not.
wonderful.
I've actually considered putting bearings in it. That would make the kit a little more complicated. I've considered
Yes.
experimenting with bearings, but right now it's all those points are just all I kind of set up the 3D print where it can kind of handle those stress points a little better. Some of my early iterations did not perform well, and so I finally got the design right, and it handles really well. If you put together the kit, I have found that the first 2 or 3 times you spill it out and wind it up, you're going to run into a little bit of tightness. After just a few times of spinning that, it does loosen up. One thing I just learned the hard way is if you can, technically you can, after you get done assembling it, you can take your drill and put it on this screw right here, grab the other side and give it a quick spin to just kind of free up that inside. But it will heat that if you do it for more than about 15 seconds or 10 seconds, it will heat that PLA up to a point where it will actually weld the PLA together. So you probably don't want to do that. I would recommend just giving it a few twirls, a few winds and unwinds before you take it out in the field with you. That'll ensure that you don't have any issues with the wire catching on there and the thing operating rough. Just give it a few spins
Well,
and it'll
and
heat up.
the biggest thing that I'm going to recommend if you're going to build the kit, and I've seen Andy do it with his pocket knife, and I've seen other people do it with actual box cutters. Get yourself one of those hobby knives. They're little,
Yeah,
for like and just
yeah,
trim it out that way. And if you
yeah.
can't get the middle, use a file. Use a little round file. You can get them at a
Yeah.
dime store for freaking
Oh, yeah.
$5. They just
And
clean it up real
I
nice.
honestly, I try to clean them up as best I can. I don't get, maybe I
Yeah.
try very, really hard to get it cleaned up as best I can. You may see a couple of imperfections where I missed a couple of bits of PLA here and there, but I try to get them cleaned up really nice before I ship the kits out. But yeah, I mean, once you get those first few rotations done, it loosens up and it's really smooth. And I wouldn't recommend winding it really, really tight because that'll tend to bind the wire up. But really, really tight or just really loose, it would, it can cause you problems. But honestly, if you just wind it up like you're just going to wind it up, it normally, it's not going to cause you any problems. So I just wouldn't recommend putting tons and tons of tension on it to wind it up because that will put it in a bind. I saw Jeff ask if we can put gravy on it. Well, you can. If you want to radiate your signal through some sausage gravy, you could definitely give that a try. As they say, RF got to
Yep.
go somewhere.
Yep, that's true. But I want to thank Frank, Prep Ham Paul, and Andy here. Well, the other two for basically posting links for me as much as possible. Like I said, 250 subs. I'll give away one of these lovely kits, and it's going to a good cause.
Subscribe
I'm
to
sorry.
Chris. Subscribe to Chris like right now. Hit that. You know you want to do it. Hit the subscribe button. Then go over to my channel and subscribe to mine if you don't mind. After you get done subscribing here, go subscribe to my channel and well get us both bumped up there a little ways.
Hey, I'm sorry. I've been screaming at the ham radio guys and the clubhouse and everywhere I can. I mean, I've been a member of Clubhouse for, oh God, it's going almost on. I'm working on my 3rd year now already. Jeez Louise.
Nice.
So I mean, we got a lot of people, a lot of ham radio operators that are on these YouTubes. There's tons of us out here. Find someone you like and subscribe to them. Help them out. Do stuff for them. So it's all great stuff. So, but
Absolutely.
Andy, I am really, really happy that you were able to come on tonight. Of course, the time worked out a little bit better now, with family stuff and everything else. And I'm like, oh, yes, this works better.
I really, really appreciate you having me on, Chris. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me that you brought me on to talk about this. Like I said, I'd be happy to come on with you later, talk about whatever. Maybe I'll even launch a new product one of these days and we can come on and talk about that. But I'd be happy to come back on, in the future if you want to have me back on, even just to chat. But great to see you, Chris, and thanks for the fantastic stream.
No, thank you, Andy, because heck, this little thing, I like this. I like that I could just throw it in my Go box or Go bag or my, heck, I could throw it even at the top of my battery boxes. I know I'm going to have an antenna. So,
yeah, there you go.
But thank you. But I'm going to say 7-3 to all. You guys have a good weekend. Have some fun. Maybe I'll get a video done this weekend. And we'll see you on the next stream.